Hi, welcome back to another episode of Spit or Swallow Pod with your favorite host, House of Chocolate. Thank you for listening, for the likes, for sharing, for the comments. I love you guys. Today is a special day, as per usual, and with me, I have a very special guest, the Pleasure Priest, Big Tunde Energy.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast, Tunde.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. I get very excited when I find other women in the sexual wellness space because they're very few and far in between.
Yeah.
And, I'm just really happy that you're here today. And before we get into it, spit or
Mhm.
swallow.
Swallow.
Okay, fair enough. So today we're just going to be talking about like your journey into the wellness space, sex ed for women. You also do yoga as well, how they all come together,
Mm.
and then just the differences between sensuality and sexuality. I just felt my airpod drop. But it's cool. It's allowed.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically what we're going to talk about. And then just the things that you have learned working with with so many women. I'm sure that there's many things that you have learned.
Absolutely.
What would you say is something that's really occurring that or recurring that you
Recurring.
have taught, just all of that basically.
Mm.
So we can start with like your journey into sex ed and sexual wellness for women. How do you get
Okay.
into it?
Hi guys. I basically got into it by like from a conversation at work.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with a women wellness organization
Mm-hmm.
beforehand, and like I don't even remember how the conversation started, but like I realized that I had gotten to the age where I could explore sex, and I was low key shocked because like my colleagues were doing things. I'm like, okay. My mom hasn't given me permission yet.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I'm very curious. So I started to like read up as many things as I could find on the internet, listen to podcasts, and then like I decided I started like an Instagram page just posting the things that I had learned, and like people were following me, people were asking questions, especially in the DMs, because like I mean
Mm-hmm.
nobody wants to be out in the comment
Exactly. In the
section
comments asking
asking.
questions,
Yeah, so like I
definitely.
was just like, okay, wow, I did it. I thought it was only me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and then the community started just like that. And that's how I got into the space, the wellness, sexual
Sexual wellness
wellness
space.
space.
How has your journey been since you started in terms of like your career, just people's perceptions, receptions, even you as like for yourself, how
Hmm.
have you felt as the journey has progressed?
Well, it's been liberating, and it's also been very Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Because like people see me, and even when they don't know what I do, I don't know what it is, that sometimes I look in the mirror like, is sex written on my head?
Mm-hmm.
Like people just see me, and some people approach me in a very funny way, and I'm like, good evening to you too. This is not why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the liberating part of it is that like I see many women willing and ready to learn more to for self development, and
Yeah.
also like for like pleasure with their partner and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that part of it is very almost every day in my DM somebody asks me what's the best sex toy for them to buy, or
Mm-hmm.
recommend one thing or the other, and like
Mm-hmm.
it's very sweet to see,
Mm-hmm.
because oh wow, we can do this here. It's
Yes.
very amazing.
What would you say is one recurring question or recurring challenge that you think that women face in this like sexuality or sensuality journey? One question that you get often, that you reply all the time, or any way that you've, the most frequently asked questions or challenges that come up?
It's definitely orgasm. Like
Mm,
many women still think that like the whole orgasm for women thing is like a
a
fad,
lie.
or like
Mm,
you have to be a professional, or you have to be a
mm,
sex educator or a sex worker to be
mm-hmm,
able to get there. And I'm just like, nah, it's not even that deep, right? So like how can I orgasm?
mm-hmm.
Even men reach out to me that their babes don't
No
orgasm and all,
orgasm.
like how can
Mm-hmm.
they help and
Help.
all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this whole orgasm gap has to actually be closed,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, but people first of all now know that orgasms are not just for men,
Mm-hmm.
and are looking to
Experience them.
experience it too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that question keeps coming, and
Mm-hmm.
keep
And
answering.
what would you say? Funny, I'm gonna have an orgasm episode too. What would you say would be like your general responses when you have those kind of concerns?
So my general response really is for people to like get out of their heads and into their bodies,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's part of like my work as a sensuality teacher
Mm-hmm.
also, right? I tell people, so if you type into Google now sensual something,
Mm-hmm.
everything you find will be related to sex,
Mm-hmm.
of which like our body is a whole sensual
Mm-hmm.
like machine, so to speak,
Yeah.
like your sense of touch, sights, even
Mm-hmm.
like your inner feelings and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you Many people go about their days without their bodies, just they wake up because of course I will wake up. If I don't wake up, I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get up and then they start to walk, they brush their teeth, and like everybody just goes on with life as
Mm-hmm.
if there's
They're very
nothing to,
disconnected from their
yeah, from their
bodies.
bodies.
Yeah.
So I start from there. I tell people that for you to even feel anything sexually, you need to start by feeling yourself by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you look into the mirror, what do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Don't just look into the mirror and comb your hair and go, like, look at yourself when you're bathing, like the water that touches your body,
Yeah.
when you put soap on your skin,
How
like
do
how does
you
your breast
feel?
feel today?
Mm-hmm.
How does your palm feel today? It
Mm-hmm.
has nothing to do with sex. Like when you take off your shoes and you place your feet on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
there's temperature difference for sure.
Yeah.
Have you like soaked that in?
Mm-hmm.
When you step out of the AC, the temperature difference also, like
Mm-hmm.
your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
taste yourself, literally kiss yourself.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Like let your tongue go round and do explore your being, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your essential being.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing is stopping you from exploring that. So
Mm-hmm.
the moment you're able to do that, you because it takes a lot of pausing to breathe
Mm-hmm.
to experience all of these things.
Yeah.
And really to get like to that heightened stage in sex, it takes a lot of like breath work, like
Mm-hmm. A lot of
being, yeah,
mindfulness.
being
Yeah.
in control of your breath and all of
Mm-hmm.
that, and like also knowing what, so like then we can now start to explore self-touch
Mm-hmm.
sexually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though like touching yourself non-sexually is a thing, right?
Yeah.
And then when we've sort of crossed that bridge, then we go into self-touch for sexual reasons and all of
Mm-hmm.
that. And then when you're able to touch it, many women don't even know that
Yeah.
the vulva is not the vagina, right?
Exactly.
So
Everyone just says vagina for
yeah, yeah.
everything.
Also, the clitoris is not just a
It's not
tiny
just
thing;
the thing.
it's a whole thing that's
Exactly.
bigger than that. So
Inside. Yeah.
some people don't like for their clitoris to be physically stimulated. You have
Mm-hmm.
to like stimulate the parts of the labia and all of
Mm-hmm.
that and all of that. So
Yeah.
all of that has to be. Some people don't even feel any vagina or anything. It has to be maybe
Sensation.
breast or yeah.
Yeah.
So and then we go into the nitty gritty of where to touch and all of that. If you know it, then you can show your partner how to,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's not just a 1 second thing. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be willing to do the work.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to sort of change your perception about yourself and how
Mm-hmm.
you move in life, really. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That
basically.
makes so much sense. Like it's just like I'm not even talking because it's like yes, educate, educate. Because these are things that I say, and I like that. I like how you broke it down in terms of the processes because everybody thinks okay, like yeah, sex toys are a surefire way to
Mhm.
get orgasms,
Mhm.
but even with toys, sometimes you also have your relationship with the toys, how you feel when you're using the toys. Are you feeling guilty? Are you in your head? While you're using the toys, are you thinking, oh, what if this person catches me? Oh, the noises. So being able to be at one with your body is something
Mm.
that's so important. It's like you said, and I feel like especially even in a city that like Lagos,
Mhm.
that's very like high
Go
stress,
go
high
go
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 go.
go.
People are really just on autopilot. So many people are on autopilot. It's like your alarm, you go to work, you do this, you eat for not to die. You don't eat, you don't savor what you're eating, you don't eat for nourishment. I'm always about incorporating pleasure into your daily life. People think it's only when I'm on leave that I should enjoy it, or it's only when
Mm.
it's like nah, it should be part and parcel of your existence. It's not a reward. It should be pleasure is your birthright.
Yeah.
So I definitely love that. So how do you take like do you do like one-on-one classes? Do you have sessions with women or you just do like the group
So it's both of them. I have one-on-one sessions and I have groups. Well, my group sessions are opening up this Sunday,
mhm
and it's called Sunday Worship.
mhm
Funny story. My mom called me some days because I had posted it some days ago on my WhatsApp,
mm,
and I don't, like you said, I don't block my parents from saying. My
yeah
parents know everything that I
yeah
do,
doing
so I posted Sunday Worship, and my mom called me. She was like, "Pastor Sunday," and I'm
I'm
like,
screaming.
I didn't even. I was like, "Where's this coming from?" She was like, that your dad told me that you've opened church." I'm like,
I'm
Help,
so sure
what's
that.
going on social media? Who told my friend? And then she's like, Sunday worship. And I'm like, oh.
Oh.
And she was like, more women to your ministry. And I was just died.
I'm actually dead. But that's, I mean, amen to that. So
I
amen to
know,
that
right? And she was
because,
just like, okay, the pleasure priest. I was, listen, my mom was, and my mom is an evangelist in real life.
oh,
So,
oh,
like, it
wow.
was very funny that she was being sarcastic and, like,
Mm-hmm.
welcoming and all of that. So I was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I actually
okay.
love that because I always tell people you never know what people's reactions are going to be, and you should be prepared for whatever outcome. It's like they'll be all right, and most times in life when you're doing something with audacity, you're just focusing on your journey, people eventually catch up. Like nobody actually spends as much time thinking about you or worrying
As
about
you
as you
think,
think. They
yeah.
have their own life problems, they are going through
Mm-hmm,
things. Like, yeah, they may make a passing comment here and there, but essentially you own your life, you
mm-hmm,
own your journey, and if
mm-hmm.
you're like, this is what I want to do, and it's easier when you don't have to live a double life, knowing that your parents are involved and stuff, because these are things, and you'll be surprised. Literally, recently I was talking to one of my aunts about somebody who was speaking about when she's having sex, it always has to be in the dark. There are many people in Nigeria
Yeah,
that do that and
yeah.
stuff. And then next thing conversation warps into, she was like, oh, there was this guy um who was moving to her at some point, and she was just like, first of all, me and you can never be because you're too squeamish. And back in the day, she said they went to Bar Beach,
Mm,
and then they used to have like lots of sex workers on the road,
mm.
and then there were like couples that were making out on the beach, and the guy was just doing, I was I was like, "Ah, what is this, what is it?" And then apparently back then they had like these sex workers that would flash their titties and stuff. So one flashed at him and he wanted to pass out, and she was like, what is doing? She was not like,
It's just
the way,
boobs.
mind you, this person is married.
Mm.
She's not like, but if you're acting like this, like, how do you actually like
Have sex
have
with your
sex with your
wife.
wife
Mm.
and stuff? Like, it's not like, well, like, he has never seen any kid.
And
And then she was not like, but they have 4 kids. And I was like, she said, yeah, he said that, that anytime they're doing anything, they switch off the entire lights in the house. And then she'll just come and maybe drag it up to like, just raise it, she'll do what he wants, and it's over. And then so she just like, first, I've already said it that we can never,
we,
nothing can
yeah,
even happen because we're
yeah,
even miles apart and
yeah.
stuff. And then he was now like, clearly, your sex life is just trash.
It's
So
not existence. It's just a
she told me that
reproduction thing.
she was like, okay, let's go to, was it a Balindi or something
Mm.
at the point that she bought them videos, adult videos, so basically porn.
Mm-hmm.
And she bought him a Kama Sutra book, and she said, take this thing, you and your wife read these books
Mm-hmm.
together and watch these things together,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys actually start
Mm-hmm.
enjoying your life.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, that is like street sex therapy. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
yeah.
And he was like, she was like, make sure you do it with your wife, because
Don't,
if
yeah.
you do it alone, you're not gonna meet all these
No.
prostitutes. You're not gonna go back to her because
Yeah,
you're gonna be like, this
yeah.
one is a dead babe and stuff. And so it's just interesting that, mind you, my auntie is 50 something. She can share that kind of,
Of
story with
sorry
me,
with you.
because like, when I'm not even around, there are times when she helps me dispatches my toys,
Mm,
dispatches my sex toys and stuff, and it's just nice that, you know, I can have these kind of conversations. And when you start talking, you find that regardless of the age,
mm.
people actually want to talk about sex.
Yeah,
They have different
yeah.
experiences, and once people find you to be a safe space where they can share, you just hear all sorts of stuff. Like once I just mentioned sex therapy, everybody's telling me their life story. This happened to me.
Honestly,
Oh, my boyfriend did this.
yeah.
What happens when, oh, my libido has gone down?
Mm,
This, that, and the that. And funny enough, apparently research has actually showed that a high number of reasons why women go to sex therapy is reduced libido when they have like,
yeah,
yeah, hyposexual, what's it called, something disorder.
yeah,
And a lot of it is not really just them, it's mainly them and like their
yeah,
partners,
yeah,
them and the
yeah.
relationships and stuff. And so sometimes I feel like, how do you feel when you're doing this work with women, knowing that a lot of the work is dependent on their partner, and they have to take a lot of those to their partners?
So this is a very good question you asked me because my friend and I, male friend and I, had this conversation some days ago where he's like, if sex toys vibrate and do all sorts of things, how then do you expect a penis to compete with that? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, when you remove penis from that sentence, when you remove compete from that sentence,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll be able to like
Of course, I always say
put it
allies, not
together, like
enemies.
exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
like he couldn't even grasp it, and he said that this is because he's had conversations with two babes who have said that, oh, the sexer is doing the best, and like they didn't find the penis to do anything, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, dead guy. And like he's watched a documentary where a woman killed her husband because he couldn't vibrate like a vibrator. I'm like, you know, right? That did you educate them? And he was like, no. I'm like, exactly. We are human beings together coexisting here, right? To
Mm-hmm.
make generally to make our lives better, we have to help each other. So if you know something
Mm-hmm.
and like the other person doesn't know and like they're going on an ignorant path and you're opportuned to let them know and you don't tell them, then the onus is on you at that moment. Like you talk to these babes and you didn't educate them as to how, oh, the penis is not a vibrator, the like all those other things, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you just let that conversation go like that. And those women now just think that, oh, a penis and a vibrator must do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
There's that gap that
yeah,
you have
and the thing
left.
is, I've noticed that a lot of people have aversions to sex toys because many people just think, oh, when they think sex toy, they just think dildo and just think a baby just using it to pound herself, and just like, nah. If you even understand that the actual sex organ for women is the clitoris, that's where you should focus on. But you guys don't want to give head. You just want to pound
Exactly.
and pound and pound. How are you gonna please the babe? You
Like
get.
I go all the way back to biology by telling men that listen, in the biological sense of it, when you orgasm, because like in the days before now, men's orgasm is like is was in control of birth.
Yeah.
I don't know how to phrase that sentence well.
Yeah,
But like
basically it was for
sex was for
evolution, yeah,
procreation.
yeah, of
Exactly,
procreation
right?
and
And once a man
reproduction.
comes, then there's fertilization and then there's a baby and all of that.
Yes.
In today's world where we know better,
Mm-hmm.
you need to know that like it doesn't take you the same time that it takes a woman to orgasm. I feel like a lot has been lost and like it's on us to actually like bring back ourselves, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Cause like um also I have this thing where I tell people that you should like even when you consume porn,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't consume it as a way of, oh, this is how I'm going to now. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like watching an action movie and
Mm-hmm. So
saying now that
yeah,
this is
this is
how
how
real
I'm going
life
to
is. Like
exactly.
nobody flies
Many
like
people don't
that.
realize a lot of porn is entertainment and
Yes, it's
acting.
acting.
Mm-hmm.
So give these people credit for performance,
Mm-hmm.
right? They are performing, and in performance is not reality. So until you realize that that's what it is,
Mm-hmm.
then we can all like really take a breather and
Yeah.
understand real life sex is messy,
Mm-hmm.
is funny, is
People
all
are
shades of, yeah. Do
farting,
you
all
understand?
sorts
There are
of stuff.
so many sounds,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just when you're able to be
I know somebody who um doesn't like the lights on because they don't want their cum face to be
to
seen. And it's just like what is actually going
going
on, bro?
on.
Like let's go. Like no,
It's not even that deep.
it
The
is
world
not.
isn't watching
Do
you.
you
It's just
understand?
you and the number of people that are
Like these
in
are the
there.
things that hamper like your enjoyment. These are the things that chase your orgasm away because
Mm.
your brain is not
You're
focused on the
on,
enjoyment that's
yeah,
happening to you. You're
mm,
just, oh, do I look like this? Do I look
yeah,
like that? Oh, I don't want to sit on him
mm.
because, I feel like my titties will be this or my stomach will be that. Or, and it's just like, bruh, get into what you're doing. And it's so funny because women especially, and I guess it is because of like beauty standards and
Social
all just the
conditioning.
exact conditioning where the ones that are supposed to be dainty and perfect. You see a man with the fattest, hairiest stomach, pot belly, whatever the fuck, and he's the one saying, no, you should do this, do
You should
that.
shave your
You should
hair.
shave. Why is your armpit this? And, oh, yeah, yeah, you said you had a funny story about hair.
Yeah, so like I used to like shave my armpit hair and like pubic hair generally just
Mm-hmm.
cause like that's what I learned. And then like so I started to hear about like how your body hair is even protective, how you shouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
shave it. You can like
Yeah.
trim it down and all. And so I did this like experiment on myself where I kept my body hair for the longest because I wanted to see if I wanted to know if I was okay with it or
Mm-hmm.
if like my disgust of it was because of what I had learned. And
Yeah.
like I realized that I don't have any issues with it actually. I have this four disgust thing with armpit hair, but it was
Mm-hmm.
just because of everything I had heard, right?
Yeah.
And so now I'm very like one time I kept my underarm hair and my mom bought attachments home and she brought it. And I was like, and then she said,
Since you
Shebi,
want to.
you want to do Ghana with
Oh, but your mom is a funny babe. Oh. Forget the evangelist.
that
That baby is
woman chose
spicy.
me.
That baby is
And I'm like,
spicy.
wow.
I'm screaming. Look,
She
see
didn't
how
yarn, she didn't
far
say
she
any,
went to
yeah.
prove her
She just
point.
brought it home. And I'm like,
I'm
uh,
dead.
she said, because I have dreadlocks and she's
Oh, are
like,
these
yeah,
locks?
yeah, they
Oh,
are.
I thought they were just I thought
No.
you just packed your hair. Oh, that's cute.
I was that day I died. No, I died like 1 billion. Because
No, I
anytime I
will
remember
scream.
it,
I will
I
just
would just
start
be laughing.
laughing. Like what? What kind of
So you had
nah,
to go all the way to make your points.
bro?
Well,
Nice one. But
well
did you shave it
played,
after
bro.
that?
No. So and that's the thing I do too. I do like I educate them. Even my father, I does. But see, sometimes when my daddy watches my WhatsApp, I like pity him and say a prayer. And I'm like, this man has gone ahead now to see bomb bomb that doesn't concern him. Sorry, love. Like it's just I always educate like they are nah, don't anything that has to do with sex, they pray that I'm not there when it happens,
Mhm.
because or
You
like even
obviously
body,
yes.
yeah, because I take every moment as like a moment to
To
educate
teach.
them, yeah.
Yeah, better than
And
me, to be honest. Because me, I educate, but I'm also ready to fight. Like if I hear nonsense, that's why I always tell people. I see this knife tattoo. There's piece on my leg, but there's a
mm,
sword here.
like
So it depends on how you approach me. But
yeah.
yeah. But I feel you.
But with the older generation, I try to take it a little
No,
easier
of course,
because they don't know
definitely
so
no,
many
no. I
things.
don't. I don't with them. I'm more likely to have like a long
Yeah.
fam. I had like a 3 hour conversation with one of my uncles as to why I'd switched my career path. Then we started talking about gay people and trans people. I feel like having conversation about trans people in Nigeria right now is the most stressful.
Yeah.
Now feminism and women
They
and even gay people, they're now
they are
commented
calm,
is
yeah.
now trans. Everybody's like, they're crazy, they're this, and even people on my Instagram, even people my friends and
Mm.
stuff that I talk to, people are still very like transphobic. But
Mm-hmm.
let's not even enter that. But I
Yeah.
definitely agree with you in terms of like the older generation, and I'm lucky to have family that even want to understand and meet me halfway,
Exactly.
even if they
Yeah.
just do so and but
Yeah.
you know that
At
they're
least,
coming to
yeah.
terms with
Yeah.
it
With
and stuff, because some
yeah.
people can't even talk to their parents about
Yeah.
any. Some people don't even
Absolutely.
talk to their siblings about
About
sex.
yeah.
Like it's like, bro, this is supposed to be
Do
your
you understand? This is
guy.
how you got here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we all behaving like the bulk of us in our age range? That's like how now it's now that like third party birth ways of giving birth is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Before, like our
Do you
moms and
understand that
dads
I've
had
literally
sex
said it?
and
Yeah,
we
like sex is the reason why
yeah,
you're alive.
like,
Like,
so what's the
and it's not even just from a yes, reproduction, but me, I'm also for enjoyment.
pleasure?
Like, if I,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, pleasure. Like pleasure is a big, like you said, is a big part. It should be a big part of our everyday existence
Mm-hmm.
because we're like my work really is like I teach non-sexual orgasms
Mm-hmm.
because I believe that almost everything that we do can be orgasmic, except
Mm-hmm.
from like terrible experiences, obviously. But like
Yeah.
from serving your food to feeling the air touch your skin to even
Mm-hmm.
taking a pee.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have that thing post P as a kid where
Yeah,
you start
it's
doing like
yeah.
this and so yeah.
Up till now, I pray for it to happen. Like,
I
because I really like
didn't even
it.
understand. I didn't even know what it was, and I feel like it's probably just some part of like the clit being
Yeah,
stimulated
yeah.
based on urethra and that entire area. But when I started having orgasms, I realized that was the closest thing to an orgasm
To
I ever had, when I would pee and then
it's
there would
yeah,
just be
just that
throbbing
spasm.
and yeah,
Yeah,
the spasm. I always
good to
say
feel
like,
with
even if all your chakras are blocked, like I believe your throat and this
your pelvic floor area. Yeah.
this root area should always be loose. Like even if I don't go to the gym, that's one area that I like to keep oiled, because when that place is loosey boosey, even if you're having sex, you're riding, you don't have pain after. You can last
Mm-hmm.
longer. There's just something empowering about that area, just you being in control of
Yeah,
that area, and it's just encouraging that sensual movement and just feeling like, oh,
yeah,
people ask me, oh, why do you feel like, how do you have that confidence or that bad bitch energy or whatever? And it's just like, it's very innate. It's like energy that just moves through you. You just feel like you're the shit.
yeah.
It doesn't matter what you look like. That's why you see some models. If you saw them on the streets, you might not think this person's
Mm-hmm.
attractive, but it's just the confidence with
Yeah, they
which they move,
exude.
the way
Yeah,
they allow, exactly, they allow that confidence move through them, that energy move through them. And I definitely agree with like, you know, and align with a lot of the work that you're doing. And also, I like the gentle way with which you're telling the women as well, so that they don't feel pressure. Because some people just think, oh, sex, sex, sex.
yeah,
I just want to rush to the
yeah.
orgasm, but you're just like, nah, you have to take it
You
back to
you
the
are the
basics.
orgasm really, and you're the one who. It's what you do that brings it out, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
don't lose, and if you're trying to be orgasm focused, you almost will never get it.
Mm-hmm.
Even with sex toys, man,
Mm-hmm.
like the frustration will just be there because you're just like, okay, just and
Drilling machine.
like you mentioned earlier, I was even going to respond to that. Like I remember the first time I ever tried to use a vibrator, it was ticklish.
Mm.
Yeah, because I was no okay. So first thing, somebody had gotten me a vibrator as like a gift to my entering the world of sexual wellness, and like
Mm-hmm.
I took it to work because
I'm screaming.
something about me if I don't play. with if something is like a big thing for me, if I don't play about it, I may not be able to like get into it. So play is the way play is like the way I get into stuff. I'm very playful. So I took it to work, and I would use it to tease anybody and everybody. I remember one time my friends and I took a trip.
Was it what kind of shape? What type of toy
Just
was
the
it?
normal one
Okay,
vibrator.
okay, fair.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, is it a penis that you're carrying?
Oh no. And I like we're all women at my
Yeah, fair
so
enough.
it
So I
was,
thought about
and
that.
that's where the conversation started. So I decided to taunt them with it anyways. So I remember one time we went on a trip, me and my friend. I think we were maybe like 3 girls, and like the bulk of the people were men. And like I would after like giving them back massages with my hand, and then I'll put it on their back. And like so I did like I had to desexualize it first. I had to see it as like, oh,
it's
this,
just a normal thing.
I see it at work,
Something
I
I
see
need
it
to
in my
hide.
room, I'm traveling, it's with me. It's not even that much of a deal anyways,
Yeah, I
because
love
like
that.
sex was like such a big thing to me before, and so I had to
Normalize it.
play with it.
Yeah.
Right. And then the first time I tried to use it, it was so ticklish. I was laughing. But I like from that I had to now like sort of get serious, but not serious.
Just be into it.
I
I know
without
that it's
any
not
pressure at all, I
playtime.
eased into it, and it's a thing of the past now.
Yeah.
Do you get? So like I always try to tell people like find like what's your most comfortable way of walking up to things that are challenging to you. Now inculcate that into your sexual life if it feels like so much of it, so high a mountain to climb, right? What's the best way for you to break it down? Regardless of what I'm saying, right? I'm giving you guides, right? But now you have to follow
and figure
your
it out for
own,
yourself.
how does things work for you. Then begin to infuse little by little. It's not today that you are going to squirt, don't worry. You first calm down first.
Do you
Let's start
understand?
with
Feel the
calming down.
sensations, all of those type of things. Because even me, the first toy I ever had, I actually asked my partner at the time to get it for me, and we used it together, and I didn't orgasm when we used it. I mean, it was nice, it was cool, I liked it, we did some stuff with it. I'm just like, okay, cool. I think you give my baby. Then I went home. I'm like, oh yeah, me and you, let's do this, because outside of the eyes of anybody. So that's one thing I've also noticed. It's easier for me. I'm faster when it's me alone. When somebody just there watching, like, okay, use the toy orgasm. How
Like,
much
please,
my
I'm
mom
not
auntie
your
would just be like,
biology
I'm not.
textbook.
I'm just like, yeah. She doesn't like to
She's
display for
shy, I
anybody
beg.
and stuff. She's
Exactly.
just like, don't pressure me, because sometimes I can take my time. 1 hour, I'm still there.
Yeah,
It's
because
not
I
even.
know I'm trying to get into the
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. And so I mean, and there's some days when it's like I said, I can be laughing on Instagram and the toy
Yeah,
is
it's
doing
there.
what is,
Yeah.
I'm just relaxing and stretching things out. Um, but yeah, once I went back, more like 2 minutes, boom, everywhere buzz. I was like, okay, nice.
This
But I
works.
remember, like me, I like really, really strong sensations. So I remember that after I used it, the whole of the second day, my whole leg just had this weird, like, how that after vibration sensation. But it was my entire leg, and I was just like, I don't like this thing. Like, this is annoying.
Mm.
Um, I used it again. The same thing happened,
Mm.
but maybe by the third time, I didn't have it
You
again. I
ease
had
into
to,
it.
I had to be able to sit with the discomfort and be like, okay,
In that moment.
this is interesting. But I'm just like, yeah, like that orgasm was like literally after the orgasm, water just came out of my eyelids. I was like, okay. And now look at me today. God knows how many hundreds of toys I've spread into the
Yeah.
world. So I always tell people that you need to, when it comes to like exploring, you actually need to be patient, and you need to try different things. You need to know that different toys have different patterns for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
You might have a clit that likes, stop and
Tapping.
start.
Yeah.
It likes tapping, it likes fast, it likes slow. Some people like direct. And then even I always tell people it's not everybody that can do right on top.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I always tell people I have a side, I have a corner, I have a
Yeah.
favorite spot. So just then use it all over your body. Use it on your
Exactly.
nipples,
Yeah.
put it
Just
behind your
explore.
neck, all. I mean, I like using sex toys on my men too. I'm just like, this
Yeah.
is a vibration. I'm just tingling
Absolutely.
your neurons. I'm tingling your body. Like, relax. Let me put it on those, and I understand that sometimes some men, if they see another penis, they want to faint. That's why obviously there are those neutrally shaped
Yeah.
toys and stuff.
Ones.
But even this, like, I've carried my penis shapes, and I'll take the phallus and use it to do like this under, frenulum, the gooch, just tickle it and enjoy. And you just see, like, you see people having orgasm without even ejaculating, because it's just mad
We're here. Yeah.
sensations.
It's
Like,
sensations, and
it's
like
just
we're
that's
sensory
yes,
beings at
it's
the end of the
that's why I keep
day.
saying your whole body is a wonderland.
It is.
Yes,
It is.
just it's all about making your neurons fire. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's why even with like kink and like BDSM and all of those things, people are literally just trying to get fired up in
Yeah.
whatever way, as
many
long as
different ways.
there's safety,
There's
consent.
consent,
Yeah, like
yeah.
so many Nigerians, I'm like, you people are scratching. You've not even started having
You don't
sex. You have not done anything. You're just
exactly.
doing pang pang, kiss, 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 suck breast, finger.
And
That's
then
that's the end. Okay, someone,
please,
but
there's so much more
so
to
much
it.
to do in this
There's
life.
like
There's so much fun. There's so much enjoyment. Like I'm like, you need to have goosebumps when you're rapping. You need to
yeah.
cry. You need to be feeling it in your brain. You need
You
to feel
like
that
I
the
feel
back of
like
your
you
head.
need to feel some parts of your body that you did not know
Do you
existed. You're
exist?
just like,
Like,
wait, the back of my kidney,
do you,
something is
do you
happening there.
understand? Do you understand? It's like everything should be part, like your entire body, and that's why I'm like, that somatic work is necessary.
Yeah.
People have to be one to get in tune with their bodies. There are people that have never meditated in their life, and
Yeah.
not just praying, because a lot of times when you're praying is a mind game. You're
Mm.
just hyper focusing, but
Focus, yeah.
your body itself, play with temperatures, play with bondage,
Mm-hmm.
with biting.
Mm-hmm.
People use electric shock. In fact, some people
Yeah.
do blood play self,
Yeah.
my own, the most blood I want to see is if you bite me, Sha, and I see, but I don't think I'm ready for vampire type. I don't know. In this, you don't know what anybody's carrying. I
This
feel like,
Lagos, I beg.
exactly. I just feel like that one is exchanging. You'll be exchanging
Please, if you want to
something.
do juju, tell me.
Facts, facts. So, because all these white people from in school was they be doing sex magic.
Excuse me, please.
As in,
This is not why we're here.
let's stop the blood. But everything, even flogging.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a flogger, and each time like a guy comes into my house, that they just roll their eyes, and I'm like, for rolling your eyes, you get punished.
do you
Come.
understand? And funny enough, floggers are not even painful. I think for
No.
me, so I like percussion toys in general. I like paddles. I like things that are kind of blunt, even if it's a whip, small, but
Yeah.
anything sharp like bankere, don't bring out. Don't fucking don't fucking sting me. Don't wipe me. Don't wipe your rival cord. Don't try it. I don't like
I'm
those kind of
dying.
things. The only thing sharp I want is teeth.
Mm.
But anything like wire, like that, if it's wire, I use it to tie me. But like to do pa,
Don't
I
do
don't.
it.
Now I'm not
Let's
be doing
not go
like
back to secondary school trauma. I beg.
just no. Let's. If you want me to flog you, and funny enough, I actually can't. I can't bring myself to flog somebody. I
Right.
don't like violence.
Yeah.
Like for me, inflicts all violence on me because I know that. But I don't enjoy. I don't necessarily at most biting or
Yeah.
even choking. I feel like I just like to use it for grip, but
Right.
I don't want to
I
feel
don't
like I'm.
want. Yeah. I
Yes,
don't
no,
want to
no,
kill
for
you.
me. Mm-mm. But some people like it. But I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
okay, but it's not my own natural disposition to want
To
to.
want.
The
Yeah.
only thing is, I think I prefer doing slightly painful or pleasurable stuff where I
Mm.
can see the effects, I can see the
Yeah.
goosebumps. And so not the one that I'm seeing you on the brink of death. I want to be on the brink of death. I don't want to be
Like
the
I
one.
don't want to be the
Yeah,
one.
you catch the case. It's not me that will almost kill somebody.
Yeah. I totally get you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
When you have experienced this kind of sex, you want people to have this because just like, bro,
absolutely.
see free enjoyment that you have,
Yes.
unlock this thing and get
Yes.
into it. It is well.
Listen, like how you feel right now and like what you just said, it made me realize how like how like in public transport or in public where like people just start telling you about Jesus and I'm like, okay. I like lucky I feel like that. I'm like, I wish I could just
Just,
gather people and tell them that
look, this is what I
do you
need
know
to
what you're missing? Like really preach the gospel of like pleasure, even
know.
just general pleasure, sexual pleasure. Like you're literally made with this and for this. So why have we shoved it to one side as if it's non-existent?
Do
As
you
if
understand?
like the first time you ever tasted jollof rice, like how your body felt. That's how it should always
Mommy, jollof rice
feel.
is overrated. Oh. Fried
When
rice.
well,
First time
fried
you
rice,
ate
like
it, you tasted
do you
fried
get
rice.
like even just that
I get
party,
what you
that
mean.
thing of
Yeah.
this is our first, this is my first, or like a birthday, your first
Exactly.
ever birthday where you
Mm-hmm.
just those kinds of things. If it's not your
And you can
entire body,
access that
then
every day, though. It doesn't have to be
it's
special
yeah, exactly. It
occasion.
doesn't
Yeah.
have to be for only Sundays or only like that's why like I'm working towards teaching as many women as I can because I also feel like um well it's not in my place to teach men quite frankly but like if we are able to like have these conversations within ourselves there are women who know that they can talk to their partners there are men who like sponsor their partners to come for these things because
Same.
lucky they don't want to hear it from me and they want to know about it so it becomes a bedroom conversation of oh this is how we learn this is what we this is what was said to do and
Sexual
all of that.
communication is also one of the biggest
It's
things when it
so
comes to sex.
deep.
Like, okay.
Like, why are you having sex with somebody that you can't talk to? Like, what are people doing there?
My people be. I mean, I always say that people end up in relationships for, let me not say the wrong reasons, but many people just don't. They just don't think that pleasure was just not preached to a lot of women.
Yeah.
It's very like sex as a duty, sex to keep
It's
your
as a
husband.
yeah.
Your mother is not saying, if it's not sweet, or if he's not doing this, or
Mm,
make sure he does this, or
mm.
does, some people are discovering on their own, or when they see something, I'm just like, so this
So
thing
this is
happens.
yeah,
Some people just think, oh, this one is in movies. It does not
yeah,
happen in real
in
life.
real
You do
life.
get so it's very, very important work. I think that it would be nice to actually collaborate on projects in the future, because I
Yeah,
can see
for
that we're
sure.
really aligned in terms of our messaging, even like with Insta lives and stuff. As more people hear the gospel, me, I always say I'm doing the Lord's work, and like
I,
you,
I
pleasure
am.
free Sunday worship. I mean,
I
you're deep,
am.
you're deep in the
Absolutely.
bag
I
of the
am.
Lord's work. So yeah. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
This
for
was
having
fun. This
me.
was fantastic. Um, plug your socials, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
my where I do the general work is called Flourish Wellbeing, FLOWRISH Wellbeing, and then the other brands are the Pleasure Priest and Hors d'oeuvre. Hors d'oeuvre is my sex education page, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Flourish Wellbeing is where you find everything.
Everything.
And Sunday Worship is coming. It's basically a somatic movement
Mm-hmm.
exploration session for women.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be doing a lot of things concerning exploring sensual movements, deriving orgasms without sex, really. So
I love
yeah,
that. I love that. I'll definitely try to catch one of those. All right, guys. Oh, tip of the week. Yeah.
breathe, really breathe. Actually, I know we hear this a lot and like we don't understand it, but take a moment. Let's do it together.
And when we say breathe,
Find yeah,
oh,
I want to
okay.
show
All
yeah.
right,
So
okay.
find a comfortable seated position. It doesn't matter
Wow,
how
look at
you
us
can lie
having a
down.
free
Just
session.
fully relax yourself. Drop your laptop, drop everything you're doing, and just fully relax yourself. Gently begin to take a deep breath. Let your belly rise as you inhale. When you get to the limit, let your belly slowly begin to fall as you exhale. And just do it a couple of times. And then you can do it through your mouth. Inhale through your mouth, exhale through your mouth. Fully relax your hands, your legs. Let everything just fall apart, I guess. And that's my tip of the week. Breathe.
Oh, I love that so much. This was fantastic. Thank you so much,
Thank you for
Tunde.
having
Thank you.
me.
Follow the podcast at Spit or Swallow Pod. Follow me at House of Chocolate. Follow us on Twitter, SOS Pod Official. Follow us on TikTok at Spit or Swallow Pod. All right, guys. I'll see you guys same time next week.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.